All right, well, welcome up to another episode of Fired Up with Rad. I am your host, Rad. This is sponsored by SOFREP.com, CrateClub.com. I want you guys to go check that out. They make badass gear for badass people just like yourself. Today in my studio, if you're watching, you already see he's here. And this is here, this gun lube. Interesting. I wonder why. We'll talk about that in a second.
Don't worry about that.
Luke Hunsaker, former Navy veteran, worked on the USS Enterprise.
Yeah.
And also video game junkie, guru, whatever you think you are, he's more than that. Okay? You think you got it? Well, let's play online and prove it. Okay? So I'm going to introduce Luke. Luke, welcome to the show.
Hey, guys. Hey, it's good to be here. Good to be here. Fun. Taking away my lube.
Well, welcome. Yeah, I'm taking away your lube. That lube scares me. I mean, I know we're all hardcore in here.
Don't worry about it.
I'll put it right next to the Rats Tourniquet right here. Rats Tourniquets right here. Check this out. They're just hanging out in the back. You know, you need one. They're soft. You can cuddle with this. I'm sure in a certain situation you want it on you. So, yeah, Rats Tourniquet. Go check those guys out. Ready Man. And I'm also in the Ready Man Studios. What do you think of this?
It's nice. It's nice.
You like it?
Yeah, I didn't even know this was here. It's awesome.
Right? And we're here at Black Rifle Coffee.
Yep.
Right inside of that. And you can smell coffee on the freeway as you drive by. It's a beautiful scent.
Perk you right up.
Perk you right up,
Yeah.
dude. So tell me, what video game is in your console right now? What console is your video game in?
Right now, I've just been going back and playing through my backlog because I try and play the most current games that are out, just a little bit, just to give myself kind of, what to talk to on the show, on my podcast each week.
Which is Nerd Dome.
Yes, Nerd Dome podcast.
That's correct.
And just kind of try and keep up with, the newer stuff, so I can, be the latest on what's out,
So
which
you're
is
playing
good.
Shinobi? Is that what you're telling me? Is that what's the latest game is Shinobi?
But it's good, but it's also bad because I can't finish them because I got to jump. I got to jump to the next one. So when there's kind of lulls in like the releases, this is when I go back and I try and
play R-Type.
Try and fill in some of those old ones. But I am also a giant retro game junkie. So like
Shinobi.
Shinobi, Sonic the Hedgehog, Earthworm Jim, like
R-Type.
I
Can't get it out.
Yeah, So right now I've been playing a lot of there's a Sega retro collection where it collects all the old like Streets of Rage and Earthworm Jim and stuff like that.
Of course.
So I've been kind of bouncing back and forth between those.
Pulling out Earthworm Jim's body,
great.
whipping it.
When are we going to get that movie? When are we going to get the Earthworm Jim movie?
Who is going to be Earthworm Jim? John Cena.
See, a few years ago I'd probably say Bruce Campbell. Just CGI it and let him do the voice. That'd be great.
That would be good. That would be good. But if it was a real person, John Cena. Earthworm Jim
rips the
I'm not getting a hard no from you, but Sonic the Hedgehog has been out now.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Jim Carrey. What a great role for him.
Yeah, it was awesome. I took my my 6-year-old daughter to go see it, and I've kind of indoctrinated her into it, so she loves it. So getting to experience that, like I've been waiting for that movie since I was 6. So seeing it. And then seeing it with her and seeing her reactions and her just joy of seeing
like
Sonic.
The same vibe that you have for it.
Oh yeah, she was bouncing in her seat, and she's the kind of kid that like every 5 minutes I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm hungry. This one she was dead silent the whole time, wide-eyed watching it.
Oh dude, I tell you, I knew a girl that played Sonic the Hedgehog, and she was really good at it. Like beat it, like obsessively compulsive about it. It is a game that to this day will have its cult. Die-hard following.
Yeah, it was just so different.
Dude,
from everything.
You get hit and you lose all your rings, man.
And that's one thing that I think gets a little overlooked on that is that was one of the first games that when you got hit,
yes,
you didn't die. You had a chance to like if you got hit, you could collect and keep going. You could collect and keep going, and that I thought that was really good. You see it a lot now. You see it a lot more now. But yeah, and so back to the Sonic movie. Watching that with her, she really enjoyed it. And then I also enjoyed seeing Jim Carrey be Jim Carrey, like of old, like 1998 Jim Carrey, like Liar Liar, Ace Ventura Mask,
like funny Jim, like funny comical, like doing what Jim Carrey does best.
Yeah, exactly. He had that thing up to an 11.
Oh, that's
like
nice.
Jim Carrey
I hope you hear
11,
that, Jim.
And I was like, that's
11.
That's awesome.
On a scale of 5, dude. That's awesome. He's at an 11.
I need more of that. I need more Jim Carrey like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, more bearded Jim Carrey too. I see him like on some memes. He's like got, what would Jim Carrey say? Big old beard.
Yeah.
But you know how that is. Look at your big old beard.
Yeah, no, of course. You tell me to bring on. I just shaved it. It was like
I know.
down to there.
You grow mean beards. And
just shaved it. You can't bring me on to a beard competition like this, like right after I'm not prepared.
Yeah, no, you're fine. The beard is on the inside. That's where all our hair. It's like entangled around our guts or something.
The inner.
You only have so much.
Right. Only so much can come out at one time.
Yeah, exactly. Look how long it takes to grow a beard. If you cut it every 5 or 10 years, you're pretty much dead in 5 haircuts.
Right? So, right? Yeah. You judge your life not by years, but by beard cuts.
Beard cuts, dude. How long did it take me to grow this? 3 years? Gone. Okay. I'm an older man now.
That was 2 beard cuts ago.
Gets grayer. I noticed that, though, in the mirror. I noticed, like, the old dog look starting to come
luckily you have lighter colored hair.
Yeah.
So I've got, like, a dark beard.
Yeah,
so anytime I see one, it's like, boop.
Yeah, and it's coming in, though. There is some gray coming right around in this area. Maybe that's lunch.
What were you eating?
I think birdseed, according to what that was. I don't know. Maybe there's a bird in there, you know? I just don't know what's in there. I have found a beard hair go all the way down to my unit, dude.
That's
and I was
impressive.
like, where's the rest of your brothers and sisters? Your little beard, it curls up right inside my neck. I'm like, why are you untangling and unraveling?
One rebel.
It's like long, dude. I pull it out like I'm hanging it out. My wife's like, oh my God.
She's like, here, let me just.
Yeah, that didn't happen. I let it fall out on its own. If I didn't wear all that gear for war games all the time, I think my beard would probably be longer. But since the Velcro straps and all my mags get caught when I'm moving, and my gun and the sling and everything, I'm always pulling hair off, you know, working. So it would probably be longer, but
yeah. See, and then when yours gets to the length where you can, put the chin strap on and it's still okay. I had it at a length where it would leave that little dent in the beard.
Yeah, I know.
Hated that. Hated that.
I don't know what I did one time. I think one time I put a rubber band around my beard. I pulled it down after a shower, and I put a rubber band to go to sleep with it. And I woke up, I took it off, and it had this dent forever in my beard. And I was always like trying to fluff it out.
Worse. And now everyone's got all this beard knowledge that they didn't have before.
They're welcome, I say.
Gatekeepers to beard knowledge.
You know, I mean, hello. We've known each other a long time, dude. And, that's just a thing that I think that's because I didn't want to shave anymore. After I got out of the military, and I was just like, shave every day. Sometimes my instructor or whoever would come up and be like, "Did you shave today?" I'd be like, "Yeah." He's like looking at me. "You sure about that?"
Oh yeah, yeah. Because I worked the night shift when we were out on cruise.
Right.
And so I'd shave before shift. The lights are all like the soft lights. It's the orange.
You grow
it's
a beard
cool.
like.
And so by the time 7 a.m. rolls around, and they turn the lights on, like I got stubble. I have a 5 o'clock shadow, and that's when all the the chiefs and the lieutenant, and then we'd have like our division muster, and they're looking at me, and I'm like, man, I've been up all night working. And then like after a while, they just kind of figured out that it wasn't that I didn't shave before my shift. I just grew it overnight. Yeah. So they stopped probably about 2 months in. They were like, "Oh no, it's just how it goes.
It's just you. It's just how it is." Yeah. They're over it. Have you, like the Homer Simpson episode where he shaves and he looks good? He's like, "Oh, I look nice." And 10 seconds later, it's right back.
Yep.
That
was me.
Yeah, because you have the dark beard. That's what it is.
Yeah.
If I did it, I'd probably still look like blonde hair for a minute.
You could probably get away with it for a couple days.
I'd look like Disney Channel, Zach, Sweet Life and Zach and Cody if I shaved. Where'd Radel go? Disney Channel, yes. Which you can see me on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Luck of the Irish, bro.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
That's awesome.
I know The Mandalorian and Rad.
Yep, that's it. That's it.
All you
Those
need
are
to
the
know.
only things in your watch.
There's a little
list
mouse
right
running around somewhere. Don't worry about him.
Yep.
It's The Mandalorian and Rad.
Yep, that's it. That's it. That'll get you through a weekend right there.
Tell me about let's change the mood for our listener and viewer and say, what is a scary moment that happened to you on the carrier, dude? Like you're talking night ops here, and you're talking like aircraft coming in. And tell me, did you wear a colored shirt, and what did that do? And then tell me the story about what was sucky.
Okay, so I was a aviation bosun's mate handler. So they're the guys that you see on the flight decks, It's kind of different for this rate because they wear different shirts, but it's still the same job. Where you have like the fuelies, they wear purple. That's their thing. You know, you had the arresting gear and catapult guys, they wear green. So we were a mixture of blue, yellow, and red. So the yellows, they're the plane handlers. They're the directors. They're the ones moving the planes around.
Doing the hand signals that we see on the recruiting commercial.
Oh yeah, all that. And then you had the red shirts that were the crash and salvage, kind of the maintenance area. And then you had the blue shirts, that's kind of like that's what everyone starts out as. And then you go different places from there. So like I worked in the hangar bay most of the time there. So and I worked at night, and that's usually when a lot of the hangar bay activity is a little bit more intense because during the day they're doing all the flights, and then they figure out which planes they need to bring down, they need to fix. Then it's our job to just rearrange and move planes from the flight deck down to here, up to there. Up to
Is that the elevator like I would have seen in the movie Top Gun? Where it's like,
Yep.
And you've been on those and gone up and down that?
They don't let you on them. We did go, like, we go out on them, but we're never on them when they go up and down.
Like an elevator up?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So we did do it one time when we did the shellback when we crossed the equator.
Oh.
They had everyone sitting on the elevators.
Okay.
And then they just raised everybody up as our XO is sitting up there on the flight deck with a hose just soaking all of us. We're all sitting in circles in the middle of the thing, and he's just hosing us down, big old cigar. I was like, this is why I joined the Navy.
That's why that's like a pirate right there.
But yeah, so scary moment.
Was there ever a fire on the ship?
There was one time that there was it was a fuel leak in the hangar bay, so we had to run up there. So in the Navy, everyone's trained as a firefighter. That's just kind of what you do. But then on the ship being in the hangar bay with the planes and stuff, we were in charge of any kind of fire in the hangar bay. Like we used to stand the watches over the hangar bay. There's like these little like triangle shaped rooms. There's like 4 of them around the hangar bay, and you would stand watch in there, just basically making sure stuff didn't catch on fire.
Sure.
But there was one time that we had a fuel leak, and I just remember this one because we had just gotten our food.
Oh yeah, you're like, gotta stop eating.
We went to sit down, and then they called for a fuel leak, and in the hangar bay, I was one of the guys that got in the baked potato suits, the hot suits.
Oh yeah, you like a silver suit with the mirrored lens or whatever.
Yep.
Fire burning on you, but you can take it.
So yeah, so we had to run up there and get in all that. And then they were like, "Oh no, we cleaned it up."
Okay, so you got all decked out. You got to go. You're in this potato suit.
We did have a guy. I don't think I was working that shift yet, but we did have a guy step off the elevator when we were underway.
That's not good.
And he's just walking backwards with the chalk to throw on the wheels. And he's just walking backwards, just paying attention to the plane, not where his foot was. And the elevator kind of comes out at an angle, like it'll go straight and then it angles out. And he's just 1 foot off and
in the wrong spot.
Yep. But the funny thing is he threw the chalk as he fell, and it went right around the wheel of the plane.
Of course, because he's a pro. He's like, my job.
And then he just falls down into the water. The boat's moving.
Oh, in the water. He went overboard.
Oh yeah, he went overboard. And everyone runs over and looks, and he gives them the thumbs up, and the chief's like, swim away
from the boat, because it will wake, right? And like it might even suck you under.
Yeah, we were near the back. We were in the elevator 3, so we were near the
aft
end of the boat.
Is that the aft? Yeah. Right.
So he ended up swimming away, and then they sent the helicopter, picked him up, and then came back on deck, and he was like, yeah,
all right, I got that one, notch that, knock that. Oh, that's a good story for him.
Yeah.
Like, one time at band camp. Now, my understanding is on an air carrier, maybe I heard a story, maybe somebody was like making a joke and they jumped off, but there's like a net that is around the deck.
Up on the flight deck, there's a little net around the catwalk.
It's not really little, right?
It's not really little, but see, we were falling below the net. because the net's up there.
And you're down below.
So we're down below.
So you're closer to the
like
water.
there's a net around the edge of the elevator, so when it comes up flush with the flight deck, the net is all the way across.
Even and parallel.
Yeah, but where he fell off was the area that broke away. So
it was empty. Yeah, there was no net.
Yep.
Because there would be a net otherwise to help catch a sailor, possibly going overboard.
Yeah. Yep.
Can jet wash blow them off? Like from like
I assume so. If they were
like lightweight enough and up there
or in the wrong spot,
and
they turn it up at the wrong time, they'll.
There's a video of like a guy getting sucked into like an A6 intruder's intake and shot out and lived. I'm just saying, not on my watch.
Right.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
If I may interject.
Yeah.
My dad served on an aircraft carrier for part of his military career, and that absolutely happened. A dude was walking behind. He wasn't paying attention. He walked behind a plane as they turned it on, and he just went.
Sucked in the A-tank and out?
Not into the A-tank, but he was blown off the ship.
Blown off the ship,
Yep.
Zach, dude.
Yeah.
That's what's
You
up.
can ask him about it next time you see him.
I will. And that's because, I mean, it would be strong enough to blow you off the ship.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We
because it's full throttle when they take off. They have to be in full throttle to go.
Yep. And when they land.
And when they land, because they might have to take off again.
Yep.
Right. Dude, that's crazy.
That's why I said the Navy's got the best pilots on the planet, because they've got to land on a moving runway, in pitch black at full speed while it's moving.
In tilt. It's it's bobbing and weaving, and they have to land because they have no fuel. Last thing they want to do is eject into the drink.
Yeah.
And then in hard seas and get search and rescue to try to find them even. So they'd rather try to crash on the deck and then pick them up.
Yep.
100%, dude.
Yeah. It's we did they showed it happened on the ship. It was before I got there. They used to like your safety videos and stuff like that of one of the arresting cables snapping. And those things are high tension. They're probably about that big around.
That's about 4 or 5 inches around, right?
Yeah, to catch the hook. And that thing, when it snaps, it's moving at supersonic speed.
Yeah.
That thing's whipping around. And there's a video. The dude, he's running away, and it comes by, and he jumps over it, and then it whips back, and he jumps over it again. And because that'll take your leg off.
Oh yeah,
Gone.
That's crazy.
So watching that video, we were like, that man needs a raise, an award, something.
You're done with the military career now. That was like, you're done. You're good. You just did that. You survived that.
Maybe he was a figure skater in another life or something.
Skateboarder that just knew how to like land it,
Yeah.
Dude, seriously, some guys can just be like, I can figure this out. I was snowboarding the other day. This dude coming down on some skis, hit a rail, but then saw something was so close that the only way to live was to jump onto it and slide off of it. Otherwise, he would have crashed into it. But it's that cat-like reflex.
Yeah.
It's like you either see it or you don't.
That reminds me of a story in Dubai when we were there. They have an indoor ski hill in one of the malls there. And, it's full of, locals, tourists. It's like the big kind of hub there. And so I had a buddy from Arizona who wanted to learn how to snowboard.
In Dubai.
So we're like,
awesome.
All right,
that's awesome.
We're not going to make this go smooth. So we take him all the way up to the top, all the way up to the highest point. And he's doing okay. He's kind of riding down in the middle. And then I was skiing on one side, and I had a buddy skiing on the other side. And we kind of made eye contact like, we're not going to let him get down this hill his first time.
Like straight down.
Like come on, man.
Yeah,
we're not going to let him do
Where's
that.
He'll
get a big head about this.
Catch the edge.
So so I kind of get his attention. He looks back over at me as my buddy then scoops up a snowball.
Dope.
And I'm like, hey, look over there. Turns over, right in his face, goes down, tumbles. He was fine, but it was great. We're like, man, you got to stay on your toes up there, man.
So you're docked in Dubai. You go to a ski resort inside of a mall with Arizona Charlie.
Yep.
And you throw him down a mountain.
Yeah, exactly.
With some snowballs inbound.
We also had we were down at the bottom, and there was this little British kid who was there, and he's flying down the hill, and you hear him screaming. He's like, I can't stop. Just move out of the way. Comes flying by, so we snagged him right at the bottom. Right. But he had to have been like 9-10 years old.
He's out of control straight down.
Just screaming at the top of his lungs that he can't stop, and everyone's just like, oh, look at that guy. Look at him go. So we snagged him right there.
Hey, speaking of the British kid and Vikings, right? So there is a segue there because the Vikings invaded England
A lot.
Yeah, right. So,
a lot. Yep.
So see my segue there?
Yeah.
Because not only do you have a good voice and your charming personality, but you also run a Viking podcast, and is it called Viking Podcast?
It's called Skull, a Viking Age podcast, where basically we go through, because I love free time, so I just fill all my free time up with more podcasts.
Yeah, of course, because you can never get enough.
But we do. It's like a monthly. It's a semi-monthly. We try and record kind of.
That's SKOL. SKAL, like skull.
With a couple dots above it.
That's right.
We actually had a correction from a
Viking.
From a Viking. Yes. Yeah. So we had. He's a fan from Norway, and we were saying skull, like with a long A noise, and we hadn't put up an episode in a little bit, and so he tried to like he was sending us a message to say, hey, I missed the show, when are you guys gonna come back and stuff like that, and he corrected our pronunciation. And he's like, no, it's hard with English, but it's an A and an O sound at the same time.
So it's like
skull.
Yeah,
that's how you say it.
Skull.
But we have a reoccurring bit on the show where we say, the Vikings showed up, and they weren't really mean guys. They just walked into this community of people that were suffering from a disease known as spontaneous axe to the face. And they were helping. They were taking the axes out. And, you walk up and you see someone pulling an axe out of somebody's face, it's not going to go over well. So it's been a bit for a while on the show. And he threatened us that if we didn't come with another episode, that we would suffer spontaneous axe to the face. And I was like, that is a check off my bucket list. I have just been threatened by a Viking.
That's correct,
This
dude.
is amazing.
But a fun fact on my mom's side for you, Mr. Viking guy, is about my heritage is there's these mountains, and there's the mountain of Odin in Sweden, which is where my ancestry is from. And so my mom did all of the genealogy, and her cousin over there, Ingmar, was a lieutenant in the Air Force. And he's like, hey, Rad, I'm your cousin, and I just want to let you know that I'm going to send you these patches for your shop's wall. I hang up all my patches, right? So I got the Swedish, his patch. It's all in, like they say, the R is a different way of saying, it's like a G almost. There's like different ways to say it. But he said that my great grandfather was born on the mountain in the sticker picture, which is the mountain of Odin. And so he was just letting me know that.
Oh, it's awesome.
My heritage goes all the way back to Odin.
That's awesome.
And I was like, that's awesome.
That's cool. Yeah, my grandma came over from Norway.
Okay.
So that's...
I bet your grandma knew my grandpa.
Yeah, obviously.
Brother.
They're probably best friends.
Skull.
But yeah, so on that show we kind of break down, we usually record like 3 episodes at a time. We do one that's history focused, which is kind of my little area, because I'm a nerd about that stuff. And then we have one that's we'll do an episode on mythology, like Thor, Odin, Freya. Like we'll do one each, and then my other co-host will take over like the modern Viking lifestyle, like music and like clothing.
What's their name?
And stuff like that. My co-host is Nathan and Melina.
Well, let's just make sure they get a shout out on this, right? 100%, right? Yep. True story.
Yeah, and they'll. It's really fun because I found a couple of people that are just as nerdy about it as I am,
right?
And so we can kind of just go back and forth, and then we'll find something that we geek out about, and then end up spending 45 minutes not talking about what we're supposed to talk about. So
I would say that with modern Netflix and current style of TV series out there, like Vikings, like all these shows that show from England's perspective the Vikings attacking, or the Vikings perspective of they're the good guys, right? We're just looking for land that we can grow vegetables on.
Yeah, and it's
with axe to the face as our disease.
Axe to the face, and it's the best part about it is because there's no. We only have the side of like written down accounts of the people that were getting killed. So
right.
They didn't write anything down. So we're kind of now it's because we had the idea of Vikings for, long time, it's just these, murdering guys with horns on their helmets. They used to just come in and conquer. And then now we're kind of seeing they're people, so they're a little more complex than,
it's almost like
just
saying,
what they're doing.
what do dinosaurs sound like?
Yeah.
You just don't quite know, but we can imagine that they'd be maybe what Jurassic Park sounds like, right? Turtles.
Yeah, turtles getting it on.
Right, exactly. So, like, when you think, like, what did the Viking... Yeah, again, who wrote those historical documents only to...
So that's why I think a lot of the stuff now is really good, because it is kind of exploring, okay, not every single one of them was, raping and pillaging their way through England. Some of them farmed, some of them traded, some of them were...
That's like a paleontologist, where they've kind of gone through and found like remnants of their lands and the axes and the things that they were buried with, and then started to realize, oh, this is their money, and this is what they use.
And then that's the hard thing too, because they built everything out of wood.
Right.
So all the stuff that was found were swords and axes and daggers and knives, and they're like, man, and armor. These guys must have been super violent. All we find is metal.
Protected themselves.
And they're like, no, man, we did everything else with wood and sheepskin. So
right, exactly.
Who would sleep on a bed of metal, man? It's stupid.
So did you ski or snowboard?
I ski.
Okay. And have you gone this season at all?
I haven't been in a while. Okay. Honestly.
Well,
yeah.
Go check it out. That's all I'm going to say.
I mean, they're there.
I'm not there to like rub it in or nothing. I'm just saying, it's like it's really nice. We still got plenty of fresh snow up there.
Yeah,
it's a good place to get away from it all. But I also know that you have some tats. I just got to show it off. I just want to show, because my homies are the used, and you like the used. Let's see it.
Yeah, I got that. That was one of the ones I got in the Navy.
In the Navy?
Yeah, I got it when I was in the Navy. Because it just made me think of, because I'm from Utah, so it made me think of home, because they were from here. Of course. I just needed to get something. But I want to show off my other one.
Yeah, let's see.
This is my sister-in-law did this one. It's
oh, that's a
Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, it sure is.
Yeah.
It sure is.
Yeah, she does great work.
I like Kid Abu. I do like Kid Boo, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the little pink one.
Yeah, and his big version.
Oh, the tubby one.
Yeah, exactly. I like that guy, so it doesn't bother me much. Hey, do you mind just pushing that door? Do you think you could push that door? Maybe just shut for just a second. We have an interactive podcast, dude.
Teamwork.
It's like, we'll get that going, no problem. Okay, so USS Enterprise. Yes. You are a video game junkie, and what did you do to pass the time? Was there any video games that you could play? What year were you in?
I was in from 2005, 6.
So that's
it was like 2005, 6 to 2010.
So about Sega, PlayStation.
PlayStation, PS2, PS3.
Handheld.
I did have a PSP.
Yeah, PSP. That's what I'm thinking.
I had the handheld one. I used to play Madden on that all the time.
Yep.
It was hard because we had one TV in the berthing. And, like, we had a PlayStation out there, and people would play it, but it was just, you had to wait for the time for someone to turn it on, and then you have to wait for someone to get done. It was just...
You have to wait for someone to finish the grind on Tony Hawk. You're like,
right.
Okay, get like 3 million points already.
I think it was, like, just Madden. It was, like, Madden and I think maybe a basketball game.
It was, like, either Madden or basketball.
Yeah, it was just sports. That was the game. But so what me and my friend did on the first deployment we did is I had, like, remember those portable DVD players that would pop up with the screen?
Yes.
I had one of those, and I had all of the X-Files on DVD.
Oh, yeah.
So we just would watch an episode of X-Files each night and go to bed.
And just binge on Xbox or X-Files.
We'd just watch X-Files. We'd set chairs up in front of the rack. We'd set up the...
And just X-Files,
Just set up and watch the X-Files and back. Sweet. And then we go to bed. That's what we did every night.
So you're probably happy to see that Mulder was in Zoolander.
Pulling out a reference from 98.
Yeah, well, you got it.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
The Hand, bro. We needed that movie at that time. That was like October of 2001 that Zoolander came out.
Was it?
Yeah, it was number one in the box office. Did 115 million or so. Prove me wrong. Post up down below and tell me that it did
man, you're
else.
just pulling up like pinpoint accurate Zoolander facts.
Well, 9/11 happened, right? Let's be a little somber for a second. 9/11 happens. It stops really all of the explosions happening on TV in Hollywood. Like Rambo could not have been released.
Yeah.
It would have triggered too many sensitive issues. So what did we all clamor for? Something to take us away, which was Zoolander. And so everybody just said, we have to get over 9/11 and try to recuperate ourselves and get back to normalcy. And Zoolander all of a sudden, let's have a gasoline fight.
Yeah. Free gasoline
Free
fight.
gasoline fight. Yeah, okay, cool. Let's do that. And like, Mugatu.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Derek Zoolander.
So hot right now.
So hot. And then, is it David Duchovny?
David
Isn't that his
Duchovny,
name?
yep.
Yeah. You stole the show, David. I just want you to say if you're listening, and I know you do often.
Obviously.
Yes, it's true. And
Comment below.
X-Files, comment below. Okay. Just do first. Okay.
Right.
Just do first. We're cool with that. But that's awesome. So, I think it's awesome that you served our America on the USS Enterprise, and that you docked in Dubai, and that you skied in Dubai, and that you play tons of video games. And at home, if I understand, you have like a console collection, right?
Yeah.
Why don't you rattle those off for me from like oldest to newest?
Okay, so I have the Atari 2600, 5600, and 7200. I've got, the NES, Super Nintendo. I got the Sega Genesis. I have a Sega Master System. Next, it would be probably Sega Saturn, Nintendo 64, PS1, GameCube, PS2, Xbox 360, PS3, PS4, Xbox One, Switch. And then I've got like the Game Gear. The original Game Boy.
Do you have the glove for the NES?
No, I don't have Power Glove.
Okay, so if anyone out there has one and wants to
Yes.
send it to Luke to finish his, okay, do that, please. Okay, the Power Glove.
Yeah.
Do you have the robot for the original Nintendo?
Rob? No.
Yeah,
No,
Rob
I
the
don't have
robot.
Rob. I don't have Rob yet either.
So Rob or the glove. Luke's down.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
He'll rep you on his podcast.
100%.
He will wear the glove.
100%.
Yes,
Yep.
for sure.
Yep.
Okay, and just the glove.
Yep. I mean,
Just the glove and
it'll
the
be-
robot.
It'll be tasteful.
It'll
be a tasteful nude.
That'd be great. And then,
It's art.
and so your Sega Master System, is that the one that has the ability to have all of it stacked?
That's the Genesis.
Okay.
The Genesis. Oh, I forgot. Yes, I have the Sega CD and the 32X. So I have the Sega Tower of Power.
Yes.
So you get the your Sega CD, and then you put the Genesis on top of it, and then you put the 32X on top of the Genesis, and then if you're a fancy cheater like me, you get the Game Genie.
Right? The gold one, right?
Yep, the gold
Okay.
one. You put that in there,
Yes.
and then if you're saying play a Sonic game, you can then put Sonic and Knuckles on it, which had the little flip top adapter, and then you put Sonic 2
Inside.
on top of that,
Yes.
and I can turn it on and play that.
You can just like
Yeah,
go
you're just-
invisible in the world is what
awesome.
that does. It's like the
awesome.
ultimate hack.
Right?
So I think Hydra's looking for that system right now, dude. He's like, where's that system?
Probably.
Hunsaker. Hail Hydra.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And I think my most recent purchase was I was able to find a Sega CD, because that
nice.
was the last one I was looking for. And I could find them, but I didn't want to pay like ridiculous amounts for it.
and
I was like, I got to find one that I feel comfortable paying for. And I ended up finding one locally, and it was
I have a Game Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I have actually two of them. And then I
Like
have
the original
Yeah,
ones?
the original
Yeah.
Game Boys, yeah. And then I have the NES, okay, where you're blowing it.
Oh, yeah.
And then I have the Super NES, okay, 16-bit.
Yep.
Right, so 8-bit,
Yep.
16-bit, and then the 64, and then I have a GameCube,
Yep.
and then I have a PlayStation 2 that I don't use, but I love Twisted Metal and Metal Gear Solid.
yeah.
Snake,
Oh, yeah.
Snake, right? And then, so PlayStation, PS2, and then my wife got us a Wii, because we thought the
that's
kids
right.
would play with the Wii.
I have a Wii as well.
Got to shout out the Wii
Yep,
because
yep.
tennis and the kids,
Oh,
bowling,
yeah, it was
right?
it was great.
I still like
It
the
was a
Wii.
great
I'm
console.
cool with Mario Kart on that.
Yeah, it was great.
And then we have she got the Xbox One X for Christmas for the house, and it came
nice.
with free PUBG game, Players Unknown Battleground, and I've just
Did you hear
play.
about the new Call of Duty game, Call of Duty Warzone, that came out like 2 days ago?
I think that my Call of Duty is at 38% right now, and I didn't realize why last night because I was gonna play, but I'll tell you right now, my joystick for my Xbox, it's the calibration when I move it forward, it just keeps walking.
Oh, I hate
And
that.
like I had to like flick it back to try to get it to stop
See, mine, I
walking.
always have to like pull up on it.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't keep it clicked down, or it would send me in a direction.
So I haven't played in like 2 days, and my son comes up. He's like, "Hey, Dad." I'm like, "What's up?" He's like, "Did you notice anything wrong with the controller?" I was like, "I don't know.
No,
Did
no,
you?
no.
Do I have to find it?"
Right, right.
I wonder why. Did it fall off the couch? I don't know. So I'm gonna have to get a new controller. But it's another battle royale, right? Modern Warfare's just come out with a battle royale style.
Yep. Yeah, it's
game.
a big Call of Duty battle royale, and I haven't played it yet. I downloaded it, but it looks awesome because, like the battle royale games are really big right now, and that's kind of the thing. And Call of Duty had a battle royale mode in one of their, I think it was their last game they did. Was it Blackout?
Oh yeah, no, Blackout.
It was Blackout.
That's right.
So this is just kind of and it's free to play.
Yeah,
it was like PUBG.
I was like, that wasn't new. Yeah, because I had that Blackout.
Yeah. So this one is just its own standalone version of Blackout.
Oh, I see.
And so it's got it. It's free to play.
So if you have Modern Warfare, you could probably DLC it, download the content to it, right?
I mean, it's a separate game.
Yeah.
It's a separate game from the other games, but it's free to download. So you can just go and download it and play
I think it's downloading
so
right
it's
now.
So it's like PUBG and Fortnite and stuff like that. But it brings that more realistic, because PUBG is more realistic than Fortnite.
It is.
Obviously. But I think this one takes that realism.
Well, what I like about PUBG is the Battlefield style, like real kind of running, attitude. But what I like about Call of Duty is that you can heal with like a quick while you're running, right? For those of you that play out there. And then in Fortnite, I like the streamer aspect of where the team's landing. Like you can see your homies dropping down, right? So I figure why not just incorporate like smoke on PUBG players' legs to give them streamers like parachutists have coming down.
That's a good idea.
I'm just thinking,
they're listening too. So
I mean, for sure,
Next patch.
And exactly. Put some smoke on the ankles, and then we can see, our specific crew that's orange, the little Skittles colors that we follow.
Well, we'll have to get you on because I'm because I talk a lot of video games on Nerd Dome, but we're kind of spinning off from that to do it's called Push My Buttons Games. So we're going to be doing streaming and some YouTube, and we have a couple podcast episodes up, but podcast is going to be like on the backside of it. So we'll probably record like a monthly podcast and then fill out the rest of the weeks with streams and YouTube videos and stuff like that. So we'll have to figure out a time.
Yeah, and get together.
And we can play. It'd be awesome.
We should talk over tacos.
Tacos, Garcia's.
Talk over tacos at Garcia's in Layton, Utah. Who, even if you don't sponsor me, Garcia's, I love you, and I would shout you out. So go enjoy Garcia's Mexican restaurant at the Layton Hills Mall. It's delicious. Outside Hill Air Force Base.
Yep.
It's true. Well, look, I think that's about the time we have for our session today. I'm so proud of you and serving on the Enterprise and being such a Star Trek nerd, and it's just like fate that... You are who you are, dude.
I had to.
Well, you didn't get to choose the Enterprise, did you?
Well, they gave us two choices.
What?
We had the Enterprise or the Carl Vinson in my class when I graduated. So I could go to Carl Vinson, which is in the shipyards.
Sure.
And was going to be in the shipyards for my entire enlistment.
No.
Or I could go to the Enterprise, which is already on a cruise.
And deployable,
so I got to go out. I got to go to China. I got to go to Japan.
Think about the boss.
I got to do all that stuff.
That boss of that ship, dude. He's like, I'm in charge of the Enterprise. I am Captain Kirk.
Right.
It's like in his room.
There was a Lieutenant Kirk on our ship, and we were like, oh man, I wish I could hang around. It's like, just stick with it, buddy.
Kirk.
You'll get there.
Yeah, Captain
You'll
Kirk.
get there.
Oh. All right. Well, I think I'll wrap up on that. And I want to say again, thanks to SOFREP.com. I want to thank again CrateClub.us. And I want to shout out your website again for Nerd Dome.
Okay. It's find us at Nerd Dome Podcast. We're on Facebook. It's the Nerd Dome Podcast. You find us there. The Viking Podcast is Skull, a Viking Age podcast. You can find that. We don't have a website for that, but we're on Facebook. We're on Spotify,
SoundCloud,
all
things
that
along
stuff,
those. Yes.
And then the new one is going to be Push My Buttons Games. We have the Facebook going on. We have Instagram and Twitter. If you just search Push My Buttons,
it should start to
Push
pop
My
up.
Buttons. I think PC on Twitter, and just Push My Buttons Games on Twitch and Mixer and all that stuff. You should be able to find us there. But yeah, go ahead and find us. Give us a like.
And subscribe
awesome.
and comment down below. All right. Well, Zach, I thank you for being behind the board on my episode today. And you're always a welcome addition to the crew. And, this is Rad saying peace.